Have you ever looked up at a giant skyscraper and just thought to yourself, how did they even build that? I mean, it seems so incredibly complicated. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the critical first steps that take a really ambitious idea and turn it into something real. Right, this is the big question. It really gets to the heart of what it takes to create something massive. We're going to follow that journey, from a simple idea, maybe even a sketch on the back of a napkin, all the way to the moment the first shovel actually hits the dirt. It's a process, and it's what separates the dreamers from the builders. So where does a journey like this even begin? Well, it's not with steel beams and concrete. It actually starts with paper. Every single great structure you see out there began its life as a series of crucial documents. It's a super-structured planning process that turns a bold idea into something you can actually build. Okay, this process map right here shows the entire life cycle of a project. But what we're focused on today is right at the very beginning, phase 1. This is the concept planning, the feasibility, and due diligence stage. And honestly, this is where the most important decisions get made. It's where a project is either set up for success or where it fails before it even gets off the ground. So that very first step in this initial phase, it's a huge one. Before you can even think about asking for money or getting a permit, your idea has to pass its first major test. And that test is called the feasibility study. I love this quote because it just nails it. A feasibility study is the ultimate reality check. You might have thousands of good ideas floating around, but this is the filter that separates them from the few that are actually viable. It just cuts right through all the wishful thinking. And that's the key point right there. A feasibility study is all about one thing: evaluation. Its entire purpose is to answer one fundamental question. Can this project actually be done? See, it's not about whether it's a good idea yet, just whether it's a possible idea. And this evaluation is incredibly detailed. It asks a whole series of really tough questions. So for example, under the economic column, you're not just looking at the budget, you're thinking about the long-term costs. Under legal, you're asking, are there any regulations or zoning laws that could stop this project dead in its tracks? You see, all these categories, demographics, competition, you have to get a green light on every single one of these for the project to be considered viable. Okay, so let's say your feasibility study is a success. You've proven the project can be built. Awesome! But you know what? That's only half the battle. Now you have to convince everybody why it should be built. And that is where you make the business case. This brings us to the business case. So if the feasibility study was all about evaluation, the business case is all about justification. It basically takes for granted that the project is possible, and then it builds this powerful argument for why it's a necessary, valuable, and hopefully profitable investment. This is the document that gets you approval and, crucially, funding. And let me tell you, this is a serious document. We're not talking about a simple pitch here. As you can see, it includes everything from super detailed financial forecasts and risk assessments to confirming exactly how the project fits with the client's overall vision. It's the whole shebang, designed to give decision makers every single piece of information they need to confidently say yes. This slide right here is probably the most important takeaway of this whole explainer. It just puts everything side by side perfectly. A feasibility study evaluates and asks, can we do this? A business case justifies and asks, should we do this? One tests the idea, the other pitches the idea to get the money. If you get this difference, you get how big projects actually get off the ground. So when you put them together, these two documents create this incredibly powerful step-by-step process. They take a project from just some vague concept to a fully approved and funded plan. It's all about building confidence at every single stage of the game. And this flowchart, it just lays out the sequence perfectly. You start with the idea, that initial spark. Then you prove it's possible with the feasibility study. After that, you argue it's worthwhile with the business case. And if you've done your homework on both of those, that's when you get the green light. It's the clear, logical path from a dream to an actual reality. So after all that exhaustive planning, all that paperwork, the moment finally arrives. The intellectual heavy lifting is done, the plan is locked in, the money is in the bank, and now it's time to trade the boardroom for the construction site. And that transition from planning to actually building, from the office to the job site, that's where a whole new world of challenges pops up, which brings me to our sponsor. Because that is the next huge challenge, isn't it? I mean, you can have the most perfect plans in the world, but they don't mean a whole lot if you can't manage the complex, fast-moving, sometimes chaotic reality of an active construction site with hundreds of moving parts. For way too long, construction sites have been run on this patchwork of messy spreadsheets and these totally confusing, chaotic WhatsApp groups. You know what happens. Information gets lost, mistakes are made, and projects fall behind schedule. It is time for a better way. It's time to digitalize your entire workflow. And that is exactly where Lementai comes in. It's the all-in-one construction management platform that's designed to bring order to that chaos. You can manage all your tasks, track progress, and communicate clearly, all in one place. You can find out more and even start for free today at lementai.com. This explainer was brought to you by Lementai.